Good evening. It's November 11th. It's 4 p.m. This is a meeting of the Personnel Committee. To my right is Mrs. Snee. Mr. Phillips is the other committee person who has not been able to make it, though he stated he has reviewed the material. Mr. Titterington, will you be briefing us on this?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The state of Ohio has a schedule for their own minimum wage that mirrors, but not exactly, the federal minimum wage. It is increasing by 10 cents, that being the state's minimum wage, which we have to follow. That 10-cent increase goes into effect on January 1st, and so we are asking for authorization to amend the rate schedule to increase the step one of the seasonal laborer and other part-time positions to reflect that new minimum wage. And we are not requesting emergency.
Okay, Mr. Stickle is aware of this.
Yes.
It fits in our budget.
Sure.
Okay. Mrs. Snee, do you have any questions?
I just was curious. I noticed in the information that some of these are referred to as year-round positions. Do you know how many of those we have in the city? I understand.
Right now we have one.
Okay, I mean, since they were seasonal and temporary, I assumed that most of them were just during the summer season. Thank you.
I don't have any questions. Mr. Tremblay?
No questions.
Mr. Mayor?
No.
Mrs. Baker? Anyone else? Are you okay to move forward with this?
Yes.
Okay. We'll move forward.
All right.
Thank
Thank you.
Anything else to come before the Personnel Committee?
No.
No, sir.
We're adjourned. Thank you very much.
Hi, this is a meeting of the Park and Recreations Committee. It is Monday, November 11th. It is 4:15 in the afternoon, and we are here to consider a recommendation to council regarding authorizing the Recreation Board to enter into an agreement with Crossroads Consulting Services to perform the Hobart Arena feasibility study at a cost not to exceed $75,000. Mr. Tedderington, can you fill us in?
Sure, you may want to tell the audience who you are and who the committee is.
I'm Robin Oda. This is Mr. Clark, and this is Mr. Tremblay.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We are asking for council to authorize the Recreation Board to enter into an agreement, professional services agreement, with a company called Crossroads Consulting Services. The 2013 budget for Hobart Arena included $75,000 for the purpose of doing an analysis of the arena, the physical infrastructure, the layout, just look at all aspects of the arena and then come up with a recommendation as to how, if it's necessary, and if so, how we should modernize the arena to continue. It's been very positive momentum as far as increasing events and the multi-use function in the facility. We are talking about a facility that is many years old, 1950s. It did undergo an update and rehab in, I guess, the 1990s. But again, to move to the next level, we need to know what kind of investment needs to be done. And so we went through a process with the mayor, the board president of the Recreation Board, Recreation Director Marty Hobart, Recreation Director Ken Seiler, Debbie Swan, and myself, Mayor Beamish, and we followed the RFP process, or RFQ process, laid out by the state. Evaluated 3 firms. Crossroads was in our opinion, the best fit for us. They came back with a work plan that would fit the $75,000 budget. We anticipate that they will do eight tasks, and those are outlined, listed on your report. But the end result is hopefully we'll have we should get a cost-benefit analysis as well as the kind of cost investment that we should make to make the best use of the facility. We are recommending that this be done as an emergency. This analysis will take 4 to 5 months before we get a report. Time is of the essence because in the 2014 budget, we've done a ballpark and included a ballpark amount for some debt service, anticipating that we would have to bond to do some renovations and upgrades to the facility. If Mr. Stickle was here, he would indicate, was or were, if he were to be here, thank you, then he would emphasize that we need to do this as quickly as possible because the bond market interest rates are historically low and are anticipated only to go up. So the sooner that we can get out to the bond market, the better we will do on interest rate and interest rate costs.
And you'll explain that if it comes before council?
It will have to come before council at that time.
But you would explain
authorizing
that publicly?
And we can go through that with you, with Mr. Stickle's help.
I know I had been reading about this and saw that we have to pay for their travel expenses. Did I understand that correctly?
Yes, there are a couple of trips that they're going to have to do to be on site. They originally anticipated more, but we were able to cut that back down.
Is that included in the 75?
Travel is included as part of the 75,000. That is a typical expense that you pay for with a consultant that, you know, there could be fuel costs, there could be overnight stays depending on how far away they're located.
So you're confident that nobody closer could do it?
No, we felt like this was the best one. The other two firms were maybe, I don't know if they were as far, but they weren't local. This is fairly specialized work, and we are looking at a firm that can look at the whole entertainment side of this, which is very much a specialty.
I know I've been running over at the arena, and there was a rain one day, and water was just pouring in. So I know the facility needs some updating and some
Well,
maintenance work.
anticipating this committee, we kind of opened the roof a little bit more so that, you'd understand the
To push us
urgency.
in that direction.
Yes. Not too subtle, but we're not proud.
I am loving what Hobart is doing and the activity they're bringing into the community. Questions?
As I understand it, this was in the 2013 budget,
The study is, yes,
the money for the study.
yes.
And the staff and the rec board approved it,
They did.
the feasibility study and the vendor unanimously.
That's correct.
And as far as the timing, this is a wise time to do it, and I think it's a wise decision to do this now rather than waiting for our momentum, which is going, to slow down. That's all I have.
Mr. Clark?
Thank you. I'm pleased to see Mr. Seiler and Mr. Hobart here in the audience for questions. And if they had a statement after I get done speaking, I'd like to hear from them. I'm, very pleased, like the other committee members, about the direction we're taking. And for the audience benefit, Crossroads Consulting Services is not coming from India or anything. They're coming from Tampa, Florida. So airfare is pretty reasonable from Tampa to Dayton. And I'm glad it's a multi-faceted assessment, including the guest experience and the economic impacts analysis. And I'm glad to see that, because I think that will help everybody understand better the value of what services Hobart Arena does perform to our community. It's a quality of life experience, and I think that adds to a lot, and we'll see how much it really and truly adds. I don't have any questions other than that. I'd like to hear from Mr. Seiler or Mr. Hobart if they'd like to address.
Mr. Seiler, Mr. Hobart?
Madam Chair, as they're coming up, one of the other things that I will say, to piggyback what Mr. Clark said, is that, Hobart Arena is part of our riverfront quality of life amenities, and in the 2014 budget, you're going to see an emphasis on riverfront redevelopment. which, of course, is a high priority of ours, Mayor Beamish as well. So this is an important step to get and continue to move in that direction and really go to the next level as far as our use of the riverfront and that corridor.
Very good.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Simon?
Well, the facility we're speaking of, the Hobart Arena, was built in 1950, so we're talking about a 63-year-old venue. And even though it seems like just a couple years ago, the renovation that was done to the facility was started in 1997, so it has already been 16 years since it was renovated. And so this study will afford us the opportunity to, do a comprehensive look into the venue to determine what facility improvements need to be made to it. And also from an operational perspective, maybe some recommendations that we can do to improve ourselves in the market and continue to remain competitive as we have continued competition coming into the market with other venues that will be opening or have opened very recently.
Very good. Anybody have any questions for Mr. Seiler?
No, I have none.
I just wanted to comment to Mr. Seiler personally that, I think he's doing a great job. He's bringing acts and venues here that have never been here before, and they've been consistently successful. And you're being judicious in the use of our funds, including the boiler system that you got on eBay or whatever it was. Yeah. Yes, saving us tons of money, so I know that you're making judicious use of taxpayer dollars, and I appreciate that.
Thank you.
I had a member of the community comment to me this week, just on the activity at Hobart, and they are just overwhelmed in a positive way at what goes on there, so.
Very good.
I said I will pass that on to Mr. Seiler.
Thank you very much.
Any other questions? Mayor, Mrs. Baker? Anybody else?
I'd like to move forward.
I want to move forward and make an emergency.
I'm wholeheartedly in support of that.
All right.
We'll move forward.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Meeting adjourned. Do we have anything else?
No.
No.
Okay, thank you.